Hey, I am the Greg, one of the hosts of the Greg and Dave Show. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hi everybody, this is Baxter Colburn from Public House Media. From all of us here at PHM, we'd like to thank you for your support and wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. A new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Just because he's from Santa Claus, Indiana, it doesn't mean he avoided the naughty list. Welcome to Completely Serious. That little tagline was sent to us by some fine gentleman named Brandon Marshall. Thank you, listener Brandon, for that little catchphrase. Welcome to Completely Serious. We are approaching the end of the year. We are most certainly in the back third of December. That is a fact. It is not subjective. That is provable by scientific calendars across the country. And the end of December means the holidays, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and a little something called Christmas. Maybe you've heard of it. And on the show where we have fun and talk sports, for this holiday episode, we are bringing on a member of the Public House family. It's the holidays. We want to bring on our family. It's Robert Gardner from Fantasy Wizards. Robert, thanks for jumping on. Are you shopped and decorated? Are you ready for Christmas?
Oh, I am pumped and ready to go. I absolutely love this time of year. Can't wait. Love watching my son open his present.
Can you reveal what Santa Claus has got your son, or do you want to keep it kind of a secret on the chance he would listen to the podcast?
Well, I don't think he's going to be listening to the podcast, but I got him the new Wolfenstein video game that he wanted, and I went ahead and got the special edition that comes with the action figure and everything, and he's going to flip out.
That's pretty cool. It's amazing what games are like these days. There's that dual toy factor. You don't just get a game, but you get like a toy that goes along with it, and somehow you play the game with the toy. It's mind-blowing.
No, absolutely. It's come a long way from the old Atari I grew up with.
I was close behind you. I was an early Nintendo, Mario, that kind of thing. So it's incredible what they really do. Now, listeners of this podcast are very familiar with Fantasy Wizards, well, like the diehards are, because we had your podcast partner, Scott Wisniewski, on the show a couple weeks ago. But please tell our listeners about Fantasy Wizards, because I have benefited greatly. My fantasy football team was led by James White and Chris Thompson at running back, and using your advice, I made the playoffs. So you worked your wizard magic on me, but tell people about your show a little bit.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that, and that's really what we want to get out of the show is, we're just guys who love fantasy football. We participate in it. We're passionate about it, and we just kind of want to share our experiences with the listeners, and Public House Media has been a great forum for us to do that. We do 2 shows a week. We've got a Tuesday show, which I co-host with Scott, where we kind of recap the prior weekend and kind of talk about what to look forward to on waiver wire pickups, and then on the Thursday edition, Scott and Kevin Wells get together, and they really kind of help you fine-tune your lineup heading into the weekend.
Give me kind of a taste of what you guys will have talked about by the time this airs on Thursday, in terms of players you want to pick up. It's such a hectic weekend, both Christmas and for many the championship weekend for fantasy football. Maybe you had Antonio Brown or another player who went down to injury last week. Who are some guys you can pluck on the fly from waivers?
I think some of the guys you're going to want to look for, if you're looking to replace Antonio Brown, maybe look for a Kenny Golladay who might still be out there in leagues, a Martavius Bryant who fell out of favor with the Steelers, who's going to be a primary option, especially this weekend. Look for those guys that are deep on those rosters where those injuries are occurring, and that's your best bet for finding that plug and play replacement heading into the championship.
Yeah, I think Bryant's a good one. Also, Juju probably a good pick. I would think in that pass-happy, really offensive-happy Steelers team, they score a lot of points and get a lot of yards both on the ground and through the air. those two players are going to be huge with Bryant being out this upcoming week.
I love Jamal Williams. I think if you've got him on your roster, he's a solid RB2 option, especially heading into the weekend with Rodgers getting shut down. They're going to feature the run more to protect Brent Hundley. And I think he's a great play this weekend specifically.
Who do you avoid? Who do you say, get back, demon, and hold up the cross fingers to? Who do you not want in your starting lineup this weekend?
I think, honestly, Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Big name receiver, fantastic. If you look at his production throughout the season, he's still a high-producing wide receiver in the traditional sense. But when you look at him in terms of fantasy production, I mean, he was my first-round draft pick this year, and I'm heading into the championship game debating whether or not that just speaks volumes to me.
Yeah, he's a macro. You look at his numbers, like, oh, those are pretty good. But it was really 2 weeks. I mean, he's been off so many weeks, and it's so risky. And that's actually my next question. Sometimes when I go into like a big championship game, I play that guy who's very risky, like Julio Jones or say a Kenny Stills. A lot of touchdown possibility with Stills, and Jones can get big plays, but they're not sure things. Would you prefer the sure thing, or would you rather take the guy who's going to maybe get you 30 points and just go for bro?
Championships on the line, I really look at specific matchups more so than what necessarily the player's done all season, the hit or miss weeks. I look at the specific matchups that I'm heading into this weekend. New Orleans secondary has been better this year against Julio Jones. I just feel like it's going to be more of a run game on both sides. So I just feel like he's a bad play. A player I think could be a great play this weekend, wide receiver-wise. Tariq Hill continues to take the top off of defenses, deep threat every time he's on the field. I feel like he's a guy that you could confidently throw into your starting lineup this weekend, and he could win you a championship.
Do you think about smaller positions like a defense or even a kicker as we approach these big games and just trying to scrap together any possible points you can? Let's say maybe you have the 15th best kicker in the league, but the 10th best kicker is on waivers. Normally you wouldn't care about something like that, but when so much is on the line, do you think about those little things a little bit more this weekend?
Oh, I think you absolutely have to. I mean, in my matchup this past weekend, the guy I was playing had Robbie Gould. Gould scored 24 fantasy points as a kicker.
Incredible.
I mean, this is where the rubber meets the road, and especially if you've got skin in the game and you've got a trophy or a cash prize. I mean, you've got to look at all the options to bring that title home. It's
scary to think you're looking at Monday Night Football and your team is down by, say, 90 points and you got your kicker going. That would make your heart race a little bit with more than hundreds sometimes of dollars on the line. It's been such a surprising year in the NFL for so many reasons. Who are some guys that have just shocked you with their play? You're maybe fantasy, maybe otherwise, where you're just so surprised they performed to this big-time level?
I think the two players that have to be at the forefront of your mind when we're talking about just shocking performances, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
The evolution that both of these players have gone through the course of this season. Now it's sad that Wentz went out with the injury, but the jump these players made from their first year to their second year has just been simply incredible. And I think it goes to show that innovative offensive minds, just how important they are in the game. Guys like Sean McVay. I mean, Doug Peterson, I mean, he's an Andy Reid guy. Sean McVay is an Andy Reid guy. I mean, this is a coaching tree that just kind of breeds innovation, and I think these quarterbacks are benefiting greatly from it.
Yeah, have we reached maybe a point in fantasy football where owners have reached an advanced level where we are thinking not just about the players, but if a coach changes hands or an offensive coordinator changes hands, we're thinking about that too?
I absolutely think you have to, especially when you're looking at, just how much scheme matters when you're looking at a player. I mean, look at a player like Martellus Bennett, right? Going to the Packers this past offseason. I was banking on him having a fantastic fantasy season because I just thought it was going to be a great fit. Aaron Rodgers needed a great security blanket outlet, and Martellus Bennett can catch the ball. He's big, physical, red zone target, but he did not fit what the Packers wanted to do. And it showed in the production and eventually dissolved the relationship.
Okay, it's Christmas morning. Young Robert Gardner is running down the stairs into the living room and seeing what fantasy football Santa has left him under the tree. Give me a couple players for next year that may not come to mind at first for most people that are guys you want for next season. For me, I like Will Fuller a lot, with Deshaun Watson hopefully coming back healthy. Those two just hooked up so nicely over about a 5-week span. I don't think we've seen the last of Julian Edelman. I would still want him. So there's two of my three. And I actually have a lot of faith in Isaiah Crowell to come back stronger next year for the Browns if they can get a better offensive line, Joe Thomas healthy, maybe a new offensive coordinator. Who are some players, though, you would like to unwrap, so to speak, on Christmas for next season? 3 guys you're thinking.
I'm going to throw you another Brown, and I'm going to say Duke Johnson Jr.
Oh, okay.
Because I really like his versatility, especially in the passing game. So if you're a PPR league player, he's a guy I want under my tree. Now, the other guy, with just how fantastic this rookie running back class has been, a lot of people are going to forget about how good Dalvin Cook looked early on in the season.
True.
He's a guy you've got to have in the back of your mind. He's coming off of an injury, but he's in a great situation up there. Strong offensive line. They know what they want to do. They're going to run the ball. He's a guy you got to be targeting early next year. So, and then third, I think I really like Cooper Kupp.
Oh, yeah.
Wide receiver from the Rams. I feel like the rapport with Jared Goff has been amazing. He's been a featured piece of that offense. And I feel next year that's even going to become more prominent. So he's going to be a 110-catch guy, I think, next year.
You are having a holiday party, a Christmas party maybe, and you're being forced to bring 3 players in the NFL to the party. Who would they be? I'll give you mine and give you some time to think about them. So 3 players you would want to bring to your Christmas party from the NFL. I'm taking Larry Fitzgerald because he seems like a great conversationalist. And I have some aged relatives who would be fascinated by his hair. I think they would enjoy questioning how he got it to look the way it does. I'll also take Joe Thomas, another Brown. We're talking a lot of Browns today. Because if things get out of hand, Uncle Larry drinks too much spiked eggnog, I want him protecting my blind side. And how about Juju Smith-Schuster? Because he seems like, looking at his touchdown dance is a fun partier. But what about you? What are 3 guys? For me, it's Larry Fitzgerald, Joe Thomas, and Juju. Who are 3 guys off the top of your head that you would like to bring?
So if we're going to throw a Christmas party and we're going to have a good time, I want Travis Kelce there.
Ooh, yeah,
number one, because he can get down. We're going to have a good time. We're going to joke. That's going to be a blast. Just to hang out with, because I played offensive line in high school and in college. I've got to have an offensive lineman there, so I love the Joe Thomas idea. I'm gladly going to steal that. Or any starting offensive lineman in the NFL.
Okay. We will
the
fight
next
over Joe
guy,
Thomas,
I'm actually going to. Yeah, we'll fight over Joe Thomas. But I'm also going to take another offensive lineman with him, and that's Lawrence Duvernay-Tardif for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's their starting guard, but he's also finishing his medical school degree while he's actively in the NFL. That's just a guy I want to hang out with and talk to because he seems interesting. That's just unheard of in the NFL.
That's a great pick, and if somebody chokes on something at your party or maybe gets food poisoning, you want to have somebody with a medical background. That's a really good, smart pick and a fun pick, I think. Do you think NFL offensive linemen should be a stat or a position in fantasy football? I think they're the one, even in dynasty leagues, nobody really has an offensive lineman. I think they should be added to the mix.
Yeah, I would. I think it would be I would be interesting to see how they figured out how to score it. I think if you do offensive line, you probably have to do them like you do defense and select it by the team unit. But I'm all for it. I mean, I would love to pick offensive linemen for my fantasy team, having played the position.
If you could describe the NFL season with everything that has happened this year with a Christmas carol, what would it be? When we think about the year, there was controversy, there was some great breakout players, some fantastic play on Sundays, just a lot happening. It was a very busy year in the NFL. I'm going to go with Deck the Halls because we are constantly seeing hard hits and players get decked, and it seems like there's more physicality in the NFL despite rule changes now than in the past. But off the top of your head, can you think of a Christmas carol that would kind of capture the NFL season and the essence of what it's been this year?
Nothing is specifically coming to mind, but I mean, the thing I'm really thought about is just the litany of horrific injuries to absolute star players.
Yes.
I'm not sure there's a song that kind of encapsulates that Christmas-wise, but man, when I think of football this year, I just can't help but think about all the guys that are on IR, all the great football we could have seen that we didn't get to see.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad there's not a Christmas song that kind of reflects that, because that'd be a sad Christmas song, I think.
Oh, it would be awful.
Hey, Robert Gardner with Fantasy Wizards, thanks for jumping on the podcast. I really appreciate it. Remind people one more time when they can listen, where they can get you on air, online, wherever it may be.
No, absolutely. You can catch us live on Facebook Live, on the Public House Media Facebook Live page, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m., 6:30 on Thursdays, because they like to get on before the game goes. And then you can always catch the recorded podcast on iHeartRadio and iTunes as well.
Robert, thanks a ton. Been great talking with you, and good luck this weekend with whatever teams you have going.
Sounds good, Ryan. Thank you so much for having me, and good luck to you.
Robert Gardner with Fantasy Wizards. They're on Public House Media. This is a Public House Media podcast. It's completely serious, and we'll see you next time.